This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, Don't mistake the new me for the old me. They can't stop me now, I'm with the home team. No beginner, I'm a winner. Took a couple losses, now I'm cooking, let me simmer. Yeah, tunnel vision, all I see is win, 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 win. This my city section where you been. We move faster alone, but go further together. We can weather any weather forever. A dream team, I done seen things. Confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team out here celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, Forget the things you probably thought you knew. A new day is approaching, turn the gray skies into blue. I grew up on these same blocks, school of hard knocks. Had to get it on a hard time, took the hard shots, but we made it. Anticipated, highly decorated. The home team is winning, celebrated. The victory is all mine, and everything is alright. And you know how to see things, confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team out here celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like,
All right, what up, though? Man, nothing like sneezing right before you press the transition button. What's up, y'all? We got Dan Campbell's press conference pulled up. Welcome back to Spike Kool-Aid for Monday, January 13, 2025. We got a decent amount to talk about today, man. Dan Campbell. All right, Dan Campbell back in front of the media today. Oh, my goodness, bro. Hold on, because I'm still sneezing. All right, you know what I wonder, man? How come you never see anybody sneeze? You never see anybody sneeze on the show, like, ever. I never see anybody have to sneeze, man. But me, Lord, man, sneezing all the time. So Dan Campbell back in front of the media. His press conference is going to be in less than 10 minutes, 7 minutes to be exact. We finally get some updates on who can come in. We got quite a bit to talk about, man. Practice squad contracts expire today. So anyway, hold on. All right, man. Whew. I need to get back on my allergy pill. Practice squad contracts for non-playoff teams expire today. So if there's anybody that is on a team that was on the practice squad that is no longer on that practice squad, I believe they can sign with a playoff team. Let me shout out the chat. What's up, Sailor? What's going on, Mofo? What's up, Chappelle Show? Braylon in the building. Says Monty is back. What's up, Tyrell? Elite Plays. What up, man? Ohio State as national champions and Lions at Super Bowl. We also got to talk about the fact that another coaching position opened up, the Dallas Cowboys, but it is one of the coaches, not Ryan Day. What's the other coach that is in the championship game for the college? That's who the Bears are waiting on. So both coordinators could come back to the Detroit Lions. What up, Aaron? What's good with you, man? The robots are they're robots and they talk in lowercase. Buccaneers, free agent I want, Devin White and Tyron. Yeah, I think you text me that. Derek is about to be at the game with a box of tissues. Bro, I don't sneeze. I sneeze inside the house. I don't sneeze away from the house. So I think we got a dust problem here. Hey, you know what? I'm not going there yet, B, because it's too early for me outside of a few things. Like if it's a pass rusher, I'm gonna talk about them. Khalil Mack is a free agent, right? But I'm trying to scale back on my free agent talk only because we got a game to play. Speaking of a game to play, lot of talk, man. Lot of talk. Now, I saw a video this morning, of supposedly a hot mic situation with Jaden Daniels. I tried to find that hot mic video. I could not find it. As I told you guys before, no matter what the source is, I try to verify for myself and hear it with my own eyes or ears or see it with my own eyes. And I have not been able to do that, so I cannot confirm that is indeed the case. Mike, what up, Doe? Today, listen. Today is started off as a disaster. I woke up today. I set up Spike Kool-Aid on the wrong channel. I go live. I'm like, where is it at? Then I realize I'm under Lion Syndicate. I'm like, yo. So now I burned a notification from there. You only get 3 a day. But thankfully, we have the type of crowd that notifications don't matter because I make more than 3 videos. So after that 3rd video, there's no notification. So that means that you guys see it in the feed, in your feed, and you watch, which I appreciate that. So then I go to the right channel, but then I go live on Lion Syndicate. I'm like, bro, what is the deal, man? Today is just all out of whack for me, man. But we are, Jason said, JD5 said our season is over. Okay, so what's up, Shiv God? I went and I looked at his press conference after the game and the one after he had showered, and I didn't hear that. So they might have edited it out, but if anybody has that video in any form where he actually says it, let me know. I definitely want to talk about that. What's up, Cordell? Let's go. We're going to shut down a team with the defense. What's up, Jorge? What's going on, man? Yes, Eagles lost Nakobe Dean for the year. I saw that. Jenkins, that's what they alleged. I did not hear it, so I can't confirm that he said that. I went to go fact check. I did not hear it, but it is possible he said it. Supposedly, it was at the end of a press conference. The mic was still hot, and he said that our season was over, that they were going to end our season. But I'm going to tell you what. The Lions, after Dan Campbell's press conference, we got to talk about the fact that we got to stop being so scary. And we just did a segment last week, and this is sad because I shouldn't have to keep talking about this, but we got to stop being so scary, man. I get it, y'all, because we got mad PTSD, but we got to stop being scary. I mean, every team, we don't want to face this. Did you see the Eagles yesterday? We don't want to face the Eagles. I mean, come on, y'all. We better than this. And I'm going to tell you what, this is, when you look at, and we'll get into this after the press conference. He should be going live any minute now. But after the press conference, let me put these on. All right. I'm getting over being sick, so I don't know what this is about. But after the press conference, we got to talk about it, man. But I'll just give y'all a little taste. The Lions have the number 1 offense in the league. I want you to look at the games that have been played thus far. There have been 5 games, 5 wild card games. Who had the most points scored? Who scored the most points out of the wild card game? I'll wait for y'all to put it in the description. I mean, in the description. See, I'm all out of whack today, bro. Who had the most points? The Bills. What is unique about the Bills? The Bills had they got the second ranked offense, and they put up the most points in come on, y'all. The Lions are going to score points. The Commanders are not going to beat the Detroit Lions with 23 points. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to outscore us. I have conceded defeat when it comes to the defense. Now, they played lights out. They played lights out against Minnesota. In a game, they had to do that, and they did not disappoint. In the red zone, they tightened up. But we got to stop acting like this. It's almost disgusting in a way. Oh, Jaden Daniels. The dude weighed, first of all, I didn't even know he weighed 212. That's insane. That's insane. Did you see him get lifted out of the air yesterday? He can do whatever he wants. As long as we stop, we're tight against the run. As long as we stop Scary Terry, we're good. We're good. And even if we don't, we're going to have to score. Our offense is a well-oiled machine. So we got to stop this, bro. You're not going to beat the Lions scoring 23 points. It ain't going to happen. The Bills put up 31 points. They got the number 2 offense in the league. You're not going to beat the Detroit Lions scoring. This is not week 2. This is not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers where we went 1 for 7 in the red zone. You're not going to beat the Lions. As a matter of fact, when I do the segment, we're going to look and see what's the lowest points. Is the lowest points? It was 16-20 in week 2. Our offense wasn't even rolling yet. And this is what happens when you don't play in the preseason. You don't play in the preseason. Yeah, if you look at the 2 games, we scraped by the Rams. We scraped by them, and we lost to the Buccaneers. So anyway, Dan Campbell, we're just waiting on the Lions to go live right now. And when they do, we will bring that up. Well, we gotta stop acting like this, bro. It's starting to be disgusting. What's up, Josh? What's good with you? Commanders ranked 30th against the run. Oof. Did y'all see Bobby Wagner get trucked by Baker Mayfield? Oh, man, shout out to Baker, bro. I don't dislike Baker, but I actually root for him in his new kind of, he's like the new Jared Goff. But come on, bro. I want to see Gibbs throw a TD to Taylor Decker. Lattimore was good. Ooh, wee. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Put a meek on Terry. But I do have a video. I'll probably save that for Lion Syndicate, though. Or maybe not. But it's a video that was on Instagram of Commanders fans in the hallway saying, we want Detroit. I'm like, be careful what you wish for. Yeah. Hey, Jorge, I was just talking about that. I got the video, bro. The Stafford narrative starting to come true. Shift God already told you that, bro. I totally expect the Rams to win tonight. Don't forget, there's a caveat to the narrative. And that is the narrative has to be swayed. It can't be obvious. The narrative is they can't make it obvious, so it has to be swayed. If the NFL, let's put it like this. If the NFL gets its way, I guarantee you a NFC championship game between Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams and Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions will get more views in the history of the NFC championship. I guarantee you that. And with the abysmal, that's another thing.
I asked you.
Dan Campbell's at the podium.
Now that you're so close and that you've accomplished so much, you guys have done so many things already to this point. Is just getting to the Super Bowl, is that enough to define a successful season, or do you think you have to win it now?
No, I mean, listen, everything's about this game right now. And I've said it before, I've been to the Super Bowl and I've lost it and it stinks. So it's about this week. We got to find a way to win this game this week.
Hard to keep the players focused on that, knowing that you're just 2 games away, or do you think you drill that into them, that it's just the next step?
No, I think it's actually, I don't think that's hard at all. I think they understand what's at stake. I know they watched these games this weekend. They watched that game last night. This is and inevitably, I mean, I showed the team really every game, just different situations that popped up, a snapshot of what happened. And you just look at what could have cost the team, whether it's a drop here, whether it's a penalty, whether it's a situation, whatever it is, and they're littered all through, the week, and that's what the playoffs are. Is man, that one extra play, just doing your job in the heat of the moment, and if you do that, you give yourself the best odds. If not, that the other team's going. And so we've got a really good opponent here. They got a dynamic quarterback. They're playing good offense, good defense, really good coaching, and we got a work cut out for us. That's what we've got.
What it takes to turn around a franchise. It took you about 2 years to kind of get this thing going, a year and a half to get this thing really going in the right direction. What's your level of respect for what they've done over there in Washington with Quinn in just one season?
I got a lot of respect for Dan Quinn. I've known Dan from afar. I know him, but it's not like we hang out on a daily basis or anything or talk like that. But I've known him for a while, and certainly when he was in Atlanta, having to play him twice a year. I mean, those guys, you gain a high level of respect for what they do. And Joe Witt, the defensive coordinator, I mean, those guys were all there. And so inevitably, his teams are always going to be competitive, and they're going to be ready to go, and they're going to try to do things the right way. So I've got a lot of respect for what he's done, and I'm not surprised that they're where they're at. Just knowing, kind of the way he builds things, the way his attitude is, and so it's impressive.
It's really hard to try to get that number one seed to get that bye week, but actually after going through it, how beneficial was that week? What did you take for having that time to kind of get away and come back to it?
Well, I think really just honestly, the best thing you get is that it's one less game. And so the odds say, well, that's one less game that you're playing to get to your ultimate goal. That's the benefit, really. And you could say, well, yeah, I mean, we've had some injuries, and so you get a couple of people that are able to feel better. But inevitably, it's not even that. I mean, there's plenty of teams that are playing. I mean, we did it twice last year. We won back-to-back games without a bye. It's really the fact that your odds are better because you're playing one less game. So that's the advantage of the bye.
Your last 14 hours or so, I'm sure you watched some of that game too. How quickly do you start game planning for Washington? What's the rush been like, sort of getting ready for?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're like anybody else. You're taking your notes as the game's going on, like last night, and you're taking note as much as you can with what you can see on the TV. And then really, it's been, full force today. You get in early and you start going. I had stuff with me at home, so you go. But it's like anything else. We're going to have plenty of time to game plan and get a really good feel of who this opponent is to put a good plan in. Say it again. No, I did not get in early. I started early, but I did not get here. I had plenty of coaches here.
Do you have any that, last year was, I'm not going to say surprise, but you guys kind of, arrived when your announcement, you probably exceeded a lot of expectations. This year, the expectations were huge, and you delivered, and you're the number one seed. Do you feel a difference as far as what is expected of you and your team now?
No, I don't. You put that into words no, I don't think about, man, we're the one seed, so if if you guys don't succeed, then, I never think like that. I don't know. To me, I look at it as I know who we are. I know what we're about. I know how we have to prepare. I respect the opponent. And now it's time to go to work. That's how I look at it. I don't look at anything else. I don't think of what if it doesn't. What if the what ifs fuck, man, I couldn't sleep at night if I lived that way. There's no freaking way. So no, I don't think of that. We're the one seed. We earned the one seed. We got a good opponent coming in, and we're going to be ready to play. That's how I look at it.
Do you feel it from the outside though? Do you feel just the extra attention being put on you, the demands, all that stuff?
No, we've had attention for 4 years here. I mean, there's been more stuff that's been made out, that's been built one way. We've been so good. We've been so bad. We're a laughing stock. Now we're great. And it's just been this roller coaster of up and downs. And it's the next week of it. You know what I mean? And so this is nothing new that we're in right now. This is nothing new for me, for the coaches, for the players. We're in the middle of the circus, man, and it's about time to perform. That's the world we're in.
Jay Daniels obviously has been a big part of their turnaround. Can you just talk about the challenge he presents at quarterback?
He is dangerous. He's dangerous. He poses a major threat. He does not play the position like a rookie quarterback. He's composed. He understands how to progress. He sees the field well. He can buy time with his legs. He's a dangerous runner. You know, he's smart. He's smart. You can tell he understands how to run that offense, what they're asking him to do. And then he's got weapons. He's got weapons around him. I mean, his receiver's pretty dang good. 17's a hell of a player, you know. He's got a good back. He's got more than one receiver. Ertz at tight end. I mean, they've got weapons. The O-line plays hard. But he's a difference maker.
This is the one opponent that you hadn't faced, that you could have faced, that you hadn't faced already. Does that make you a little leery of the unknown? I mean, you obviously can see them now, but he's dynamic, but he's also a rookie. How much does the unknown affect?
No, I don't know. I think there's a level of excitement. You know, part of it, it's you see another team you face twice, let's say, right? You know each other. You know them. They know you. It's different level of game planning because you're into that third level of chess, you know. Whereas the opponent you haven't faced yet, like that's exciting too because you don't really entirely know them. They don't entirely know you. You just know each other from afar. And so now you kind of start from scratch. That's pretty exciting too, you know. So I just think either way you go, it's pretty cool and it's fun. And so I think I like it because it's fresh for this week. I do like the newness of it.
I just wanted to ask you how the bye week impacted the overall health of the team and really in relation to how Arnold and Zeitler are trending.
Well, we didn't have any injuries over these last 3 days. So I think we're okay. I'll know more tomorrow. You know, I'll know more tomorrow as where everybody's at, but yeah, I can't give you a straight-up answer off of 3 days off, really. I mean, I just know everybody, treatment has gone well, and we'll see.
Share behind the scenes of you celebrating the division, ran over to Montgomery's locker. That was part of the video that we got to see. To put 5 back in that game plan after the outlook wasn't initially so great, what's that going to mean to you as the head coach for this team?
It'll mean a lot. 5's a big part of us. He's a huge part of us, you know, and to me, he's a bell cow. He's somebody that he's a tone setter, you know, he's a catalyst. So there's a place for him. There's a place for him here. So there'll be a place for him in this game. So it's going to be good to get him back.
Going back to Daniels for a sec, usually when a young quarterback is so quick to use their feet, it's a lack of confidence in reading in their arm, and that's not the case with him. Is there anybody stylistically you can think of like that kind of matches his skill set?
That's tough to say. As a rookie, because that's really what you're trying to compare him to, right? Is really a rookie of who's, I can't. I mean, that's like that. That's been as composed as he is, and really, you know, been able to function at such a high level without the, the mistakes or things like that. He's doing a really good job. I mean, I know they've got to be happy over there with how he's progressed every week, just gotten better and better.
When they have that RPO element, I mean, how valuable is a guy like Alex to just kind of help get the defense right and decipher a lot of that stuff?
Yeah, Alex is always going to help. Getting him back, I mean, just having him back the other day was, you know, paid huge dividends. It was one of the reasons that we did well, that we played a really good game defensively. He's certainly one of those reasons. So to get him back, the production he brings, the athlete, but then just the, what he brings mentally, because he understands the game well. He studies. He'll know this offense. He'll know what they're trying to do, and he can kind of help everybody out around him. So yeah, it helps having him.
Fourth down aggressiveness paid off in a big way last night. Curious if you see any similarities in the way you guys like to attack and just what makes them so successful on fourth down.
I mean, I don't know. And look, I haven't been able to watch every game yet. I haven't got into all that. So I've got to do my own. I understand what the percentages are. I know they went for it, whatever, 4 or 5 times last night. But I need to look at what the situations are when he does that. And is this truly their MO? How much of it is run, pass, blah, 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 blah. But I know he wants to be a little bit more aggressive, and they have a quarterback that is mobile and gives you a run-pass option. So, I don't know. I can't say that it's like us or not like us, But I know they have it, they use it, and it's helped them. It's helped them win games.
Lions defense over the years has struggled against running quarterbacks. Do you buy that, or does everybody struggle against running quarterbacks?
Do you buy that? Are you buying that?
I do, but you face a lot of running quarterbacks. Oh, yeah. I'm not supposed to buy it?
No. I know this. Running quarterbacks are hard. They're hard to defend, and it's like somebody tells you that we don't handle running quarterbacks very well. Well, tell me the team that does. Give me the next team. All right. So now you're working for whoever. I don't care who they are. And I'm not going to name a team because then somebody will come back and say, "Why did you name that team?" But if you're on that team, you'd be like, "We don't handle running quarterbacks that well." Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of when you're trying to deal with Lamar and you're trying to deal with a guy like this over there and Josh Allen and. It's a lot of teams that struggle against those guys. They're not easy to stop, and there's a reason for that. So, look, we know we got our hands full, but we're going to have a plan in place. AG is going to have a hell of a plan. Our guys are going to execute it. And you know what? He may make a run. He may pop a run or two. That's just the nature of the game and the way that some of these guys are able to maneuver, but that doesn't mean that you win the game.
History of NFL rookie quarterbacks and being on the road in the playoffs. There's only a couple of them that have done it. How hard is that, just given the magnitude, the stage of this for rookie quarterbacks to do that? And B, is it about the running? Is it about his maturity? Why do you think that he's able to sort of breach that?
Well, look, I think Cliff's done a good job with him, and with the scheme that they're running, I think it really fits him well. But yet they're also, it's not just about him. It's about the other weapons that they do have. And I think that all meshes well together. And I think they don't ask him to do everything. I think the scheme they have, he does a good job with it. I think he can get himself out of trouble. I think this O-line plays hard. They don't just live in the read run or RPO. They've got some gap scheme, so there's some attitude there. There's cutting the defense type runs. So it's kind of all been meshed together well, and so I think by doing that you alleviate a lot of pressure off of him, and when he has that ability, and you don't put everything on him, then he'll make plays for you, and he's been able to do that, and I think he does stay composed and he doesn't get frazzled. So I think there's. That's a credit to him, but it's really a credit to the coaches, too, and the players that are around him. I think they do a good job of spreading the load, actually.
Check in with Ben and Aaron to ask how their interviews went over the weekend. And I guess from that perspective, do you get regular updates on that kind of stuff?
Why would I want to know that? You think I want him to leave?
But I'm just curious, on that note, do they give you periodic updates? You check in, or how's that work?
Yeah, I've got an idea how they're doing. I have not run in there and asked if they're leaving yet. I didn't do that, but some point today I'll talk to them about what transpired yesterday. Right now I'm just trying to get ready for Washington. Yep.
top six rushing offenses in the NFL made the playoffs. Can you speak to the
Say that one more time.
top six rushing offenses made the playoffs this year? I mean, can you speak to the level of investment you made in the running game and how it paid dividends this time of year? So
Well, I think it's just another. I know for me personally, for us, I think I just believe that's where everything starts. I know it starts for us that way, and I think it creates an attitude. I think it creates a style. I think it creates a scheme of everything. Kind of works off of that, I guess, is what you should say there. At least for us, that's where it begins. And then it just takes a lot of pressure off of other players. You know, I think it takes pressure off your quarterback. If you can run it, now you play action pass off of the same or similar type of schemes, you open up windows. It helps your receivers separate. Now, they still got to beat the corner, but everything underneath is open, right? And when you have a guy who's as accurate as our guy is, the passer that our guy is, then and receivers that can get open like St. Brown and J-Mo and these guys, then, I mean, that's pure gasoline, right? So that's why you do it. You're just trying to, I think, master your strengths, you know? So it makes sense. You know, it's hard to pass in this league, especially if everybody in the arena knows that you're passing. Every defense knows that you're passing. They just pin their ears back. I mean, it's tough. It's tough.
Also, I mean, it seems obviously this time of year that becomes even.
Yeah, certainly to possess the ball. Certainly to possess the ball is big. That's what Washington does a good job of. Watch them last night. I mean, they possessed the ball. They finished the game out. You know, they were able to do that, get first downs, and so that's big. And to be able to run the ball is what helps you do that. So, yeah, that's a big part of it.
Daniel's mobility is reflective, I think, of probably an evolution in football. I'd say all four of the first-round quarterbacks that are having an impact this year are dual threats in their own way. So how much have you, AG, and Brad kind of worked to build a defense that counters that with the big ends, the athletic linebackers, and secondary that tackles?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something you always think about. You got to be able to corral these guys up, but I think there's a discipline to it, too. You know, look, the better your athletes are on defense, the better suited you are to contain mobile quarterbacks. But yet there's a discipline that's got to go with it too. I mean, you can't rush. You can't rush these guys the same as you do somebody that is just a pure pocket passer. You have to be much more disciplined, and it's a lot harder. I mean, you really do. You have to stay in your gap. You got to close down. You got to just continue to push. You can't take an edge. You can't like that. That takes an enormous amount of discipline in it, and the toll it takes on you physically in a game. I mean, you're talking about running. You know, that's like all you guys that have run the quarter in high school. You run the 400 or the 800, or that's what that's like. You know, like it's an all-out, legs burning, get ready to throw up. You know, like you got to do that every time, keep him corralled. And no different than the guys who got to cover. You may have to cover for 6 seconds, 7 seconds. That's the problem these guys create. They do. So, but it doesn't mean it's easy, but it doesn't mean that it's not doable. It is doable.
They ran the 400.
Oh, I know somebody did. Some of you guys, I know you had to have. Nobody even raised their hand. Somebody did. All right.
All right. Lord Jesus. Hold on. Let me take the good Lord. God, man. Okay, we back, man. I mean, it was an extra long session because Dan Campbell hadn't been in front of the media. That was how long are we talking here? It was a minute. It was a minute, bro, because we ain't been in front of the media. Man, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. That was one of the longest segments. The longest, I understand because we had the bye week and such. We had a lot of catching up to do, so I understand that. But With that being said, now we got a lot of catching up to do as well on the video side and on the side of this show. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's get right into it, man, because I was annoyed. The Detroit Lions division opponent is set. They have the Washington Commanders that they will be facing in a refreshing matchup, a matchup that I wanted simply because it was refreshing. Not an opponent that we faced this year, not an opponent that we faced 3 times in the last calendar year. All right, so it's good to see. But what is, I think, is getting, we talked about this in a segment last week, that Lions fans, I think some of us are extremely sad. We are extremely sad. We have this PTSD of losing. And because we have this PTSD of losing, we begin to cower behind other teams. The media does this enough to us. We don't need to do this to ourselves. Now I'm understanding how the Kansas City Chiefs fan base has become so arrogant. I understand it now. At first I thought, hey, you know what? As a Detroit Lions fan, I don't want our fan base to become like this. But now I see how it's happening. Because you get accustomed to losing for so long that you're like a sad little puppy in the corner, and you're shivering. You don't want to, oh, I'm scared of this team. I'm scared of that team. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We are not scared of anybody. And now with the Washington Commanders, all of these hurdles are coming up. Oh, I don't want to face the Eagles because I don't want to face the Packers because I don't want to face the Bucks because it's all I don't want to face. How about bring it on? How about bring it on? Let me tell you something about the Commanders. According to ESPN, I believe they have the number 5 offense in the league. Detroit Lions, Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Washington Commanders in points per game. The Commanders score 28.5. The Detroit Lions are the number 1 offense in the league. We literally cannot be stopped, right? And that's what's going to carry our team. But we got to stop all this. Jaden Daniels, a running quarterback, is everyone's kryptonite. Now, specifically with the Detroit Lions. But Dan Campbell was asked about that in his press conference. Well, who doesn't stop a running quarterback, right? Who doesn't? I'm more concerned with getting to the passer than I am with containing a mobile QB, because the ones that we can't stop, they are chef's kiss. We're talking about Josh Allen, who is the hardest quarterback to sack. And Denver, the sack leader, sacked him 4 times. That's what they do. But so a running quarterback is going to run. It's going to be hard to stop. But we got to stop all of this. And it's not cute. It's annoying. It really is. Haven't you heard enough where, let me tell you something. Let's reflect on week 17 in the National Football League. We lose to the Buffalo Bills earlier in December, mid-December. We lose to the Buffalo Bills. Now we're coming up on the end of the season. We got Chicago, San Francisco, and we got Minnesota. So we lose to the Buffalo Bills. Let's fast forward to week 18. Nobody gave us credit. Let's even go back a little further than that. The Green Bay Packers, who are terrible. They're terrible. Every time we play them, it's, we're scared of the Packers. Nobody wants to give the Lions any respect. And we beat them. We swept the division. We have gone 11-1 in the division in 2 seasons. Now we get to week 18. The Minnesota Vikings are the better team. How do you deduce that? How? We have the better record. We're the better team where we're tied at that time. We wipe the floor with them. I don't care what the score, what you think the name was closer. We wiped the floor. We kept them out of the end zone every single time. Sam Darnold threw 11 straight passes in the red zone, and none of them resulted in a touchdown. We got to stop acting like this. It's something I think that it's very similar to SOL, right? SOL was ingrained in us for years. And even though we went 9-8, it was still in some fans. We go 12-5, losing the NFC title game. I never felt SOL, but it was in some fans. Now, you haven't heard that at all this year. I have not heard SOL one time. However, I think this is part of the SOL mentality. We have to stop being like this. The Lions are a better football team. Can they be beat? Anybody can be beat. Will they be beat? I sincerely doubt it. Ford Field is going to be insane. This is the perk of home field advantage. It does matter 100%. Now, the Commanders beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home 100%. Anything can happen. But I assure you that A, this team is not going to take any other team lightly, and B, they're going to come play. And the fans that will be at Ford Field, hopefully I'll be there myself, we are not going to let this team down. And we know our offense can literally put up points whenever they want. And we're potentially getting Monty back as well. We have to stop this. But I see how the Kansas City Chiefs fans became arrogant because you go from this losing and, we're not supposed to, and then you do, and nobody believes in you. So now you do, and now you're stumping around like a big dog because you had to deal with this for so long. How are the Lions the number 1 seed in the NFC at 15-2, but yet they constantly are getting doubted, and their own fan base doesn't believe in them? I don't understand. We got to get rid of this loser mentality. The Lions literally can beat any team in the National Football League. That's 100%. And I find it very hard to believe that the 6-seed Commanders are going to come in and beat the 1-seed Detroit Lions at their place. With the number 1 offense in the league. I just don't see it happening. But we got to stop this. It's time to be better, Lions fans. What up? Okay, where are we? I missed a lot of comments. Run DNC says, Lions 38, Commanders 20. Oh, no, Detroit ain't sleeping on nobody. We gave everybody our best. Yeah, Dan Campbell not going to have... Listen, if a team is taking another team lightly, that means the coach is not doing their job. That's what that means. Now, us fans, we could be, we're going to beat you. We can do all of that, but they're not going to do that, right? So I don't understand. I think it's something people just want to do. We have this mentality of losing all the time. What's up, Dylan? What's good with you, bro? People always saying we got to watch out for this or watch out for that, but never need to watch out for us. Jay, there you go. How about watch out for the Lions? You know what I'm saying? I mean, when the Lions win the Super Bowl, you know what it's going to be? What the other team didn't do. That's what it's going to be. Oh, let us beat Patrick Mahomes. Oh, Patrick Mahomes had an off year, man. It was the worst offense that we've seen. They just barely went 15-2 and blah, blah, blah. And they had 16 consecutive 1-score games and yada, yada, yada. You see what I'm talking about? Just like the reporters today. Why are you not asking about our team, bro? You asking about, we earned the 1 seed, but yet you asking about the Washington Commanders, bro. How about what have you done? What are the Lions doing? What of this? What of that? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. Let's take a little brief moment for all my fellas out there. All right. I don't really plug for free no more. Right. Especially a business, because my time and my influence, I hate to use that word, but it is what it is. My reach is worthy of a couple dollars. You get what I'm saying? Like this is a business for me. So I have to leverage my reach. So I don't do this a lot, but in this case, I'm going to do it. Any of my fellas out there, ladies included. Well, no, not this product, but any of my fellas. Okay. If you are having a problem with thinning hair, all right, if you notice it, then do not ignore it. I don't care where you see it at, hairline, crown of the head, wherever it is, do not ignore it, because that means there's something there. Okay. Now do everything by talking to your doctor. I never do that, but talk to your doctor, because I'm not a doctor. But I have 2 products for you. Again, this is non-sponsored, just 2 products that I've been using. And one of them is Dr. Formula's Hair Omega. It is a supplement. You take 2 pills per day. This is a 45-day supply. You take a pill in the morning with food. I don't do that either. I should. And you take one in the evening. And what it is it helps block the DHT in your body that will help prevent your hair follicles from getting swallowed up by DHT. A lot of people don't know the cause of hair loss, and most of it is because of basically your testosterone is drowning out your hair follicles. But they still can't explain hair loss, especially in the male pattern part, but these are great. I've seen regrowth in the crown of my head, and also you can't really see it, but right here, man, it's little pieces of hair, but it's, I gotta buy this also. So the product that I use, that's obviously a supplement. Then I have this right here. I've been using this, not consistently, but I've been using this product. This is a minoxidil product. I've been using it for probably almost 10 years now, but I haven't been using it consistently. When I did for a year straight, you can see significant hair growth in my thinning areas, the crown of my head and the hairline as well. Now, it'll never probably bring it back to 100%, but it's a way to kind of slow it down and also combat it as well. This is the sensitive formula. They have, if you have like my skin, the regular formula it makes me itch. So they had this form. There's a ingredients in here that can cause itching, but this one costs a little more. But I've been using it, and it's tedious. It's not cheap. This stuff is $40 a bottle, but it does work. So I want to help all my fellas out there. If your hair is thinning, do not ignore it. If you want to save, now if you don't care, you don't care. But if you do, then get on it, as soon as possible. Why didn't make these videos 4 years ago? Just use black seed oil. I mean, you could use whatever. These are products that I use. I mean, this is what I need. Black seed oil wouldn't work for me. I need something a little stronger. If you're thinning, you know what I like to say? That we're super manly. Like if you're balding or thinning, that means you're super manly because your testosterone is drowning your hair out. Anyway, I had my channel. I actually started making videos on YouTube about hair loss. It was crazy. And some of them blew up. They blew up, man. I had believe it or not, I don't want to sound prejudiced, but I had a lot of Indian people in my comment section. Like it was crazy. They kept asking me like, how often do you use it? Because the Indian culture, man, they have a real problem. Like their hair will be thinning super early, like babies, man. It's crazy. I'm not losing hair, just receding in other parts of my body. This is random with the advertiser. It's not an advertisement as much as this. I want to help. Like, this is not a sponsored ad. I'm not getting paid for this, but I believe in this product. So that's what it is. And plus I start like I don't know what it is about hair, but yeah, I used to actually do this on my other channel. Black seed oil will bring your hair back 100%. Okay. Okay. I lost my hair at 21 in the year 2000. Pure coconut oil, not too bad. I lost my hair after the 0-16 season. Y'all are a hot mess. What is it with men and hair though? Like, I don't understand. Like, what is it about it? Why do we care? I don't know. I think men are weird. We can be weird sometimes. Like we care about random things, like stuff that nobody else cares about. We care about. Like it's a couple things men care about. One is your hair, and everybody knows what the other one is. Okay, let's get into another segment. Let me see. I wrote down this as well. Okay, what's the other one? Okay, here we go. All right, so we talked about Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn leaving and potentially staying. Well, we got a little bit of an update over the weekend. The New England Patriots hired Mike Vrabel, which they should have done last year. So that's off the table. So it went from 6 openings to 5 openings. Now it's back to 6 because Mike McCarthy, is not going back to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Ben Johnson nor Aaron Glenn are going to either of those teams. That's not going to happen. But what I want to know what is the coach's name of the coach that's in the playoffs that's not named Ryan Day, the one that's in the championship. There's a coach, I forgot his name, but he is who the Chicago Bears are really, really looking at, potentially. I've heard this morning on Rich Eisen that they're probably going to wait until he's done. And we heard today that Marcus Freeman, thank you, Kiera and Schiff God, that is his name. That's the name I couldn't think of, that they are really kind of enamored with him. I also heard that the Raiders are interested in this guy, that the Raiders are interested in Marcus Freeman as well. So we've got other names, John Gruden. And just for the record, somebody said something about Jim Caldwell having a second coaching opportunity with the Detroit Lions, meaning after he left the Colts. As far as I remember, he was an interim coach, but maybe he was an interim coach that became a head coach. So I guess that counts. But I'm thinking of guys that kind of come off the street or come from another team and they get the head coaching job and then get fired that way. Not an interim, not like an Antonio Pierce, but kind of, from the dirt, as Amik would say. So with that being said, the more coaching jobs that are filled, the less likely both coordinators leave. Now, we talked about this the other day, and I'm looking, and I'm getting kind of the feeling that both of these guys might stick around. And if you notice something today in the press conference by Dan Campbell, Dan Campbell let some emotion shine through. He said, I don't want these guys to leave. It was like, yo, and we know our coach is emotional, but he was like, I don't want these guys to leave. When he was asked about, well, have you seen how they're how their interviews at. Why would you ask that? Why would you? Dan Campbell, his focus is on winning a Super Bowl. In this case, winning the next game, which is the Washington Commanders. But he obviously doesn't want them to leave, and we know that. He would never fire Aaron Glenn, no matter what, and we know that now. Y'all knew it early. It took me a while to get that, but I'm thinking they both might stay. They both might stay because as they might be wondering or considering, okay, other jobs, teams don't want to wait. They don't want to wait on Ben Johnson. They don't want to wait on Aaron Glenn. And Aaron Glenn turned down the Patriots because he knew he was the token black guy. We talked about that all the time. It's sad, but it's true that that thing is real. The token black guy is a real thing, all right? So I'm thinking that these guys are going to stay. They're going to stay. So with that being the case, let's see what even the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are now, there's a name that's kind of popped up because now Cliff Kingsbury is actually being tied to Chicago. So, and I think he's going to get a second opportunity. I think Cliff, he was kind of done a little dirty in Arizona, but they're known for doing coaches dirty. So I think he gets a legitimate shot. But I'm thinking, okay, where could they go? If I was Ben, Brady could not convince me to leave the Lions to go to the Raiders. Ain't no way. I agree. Unfinished business, according to Ben Johnson, so we have to win it all. That's the thing. So where could they go? So let's kind of hypothetically, for me, it is for the Robert Saleh. He's in the coaching tree. Like he's in the coaching interview process. And Mike McCarthy just became available. So if you look at the teams that's available versus Ben Johnson, we know what he wants. He wants as stable a situation as you can have for a team that needs a head coach. And Aaron Glenn, there's only two teams he goes to. It's going to be the Saints or the Jets. And I heard that the Saints are interested in Mike McCarthy now that he's available. So I'm starting to think Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn might return for a running back season, whether the Lions win a Super Bowl or not. And like we did, and we talked, and we're going to be talking, you're going to see a lot of segments about this until it's a thing, or it's not a thing anymore, is the grass is not always greener on the other side. And that's what these coaches have to understand. And I think that as the Detroit Lions go further and further, and it's going to be interesting to see the next time Dan Campbell gets in front of the media, if he's asked about those coaches again, will he have any updates? Will he have any updates? Now, here's what I want to know. During the season, while a team is still playing, has a coordinator been named head coach of the team while he was still in the playoffs? I don't know if that's been a thing, but let me know what you think, and has that ever happened? But I think, real talk, man, the more it comes out, the further the Lions go. I think that these guys could stay. So let me know what you think. Matt Eberflus is available. How would you feel about AG going to the Bucs? Rob, I think I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that, would you really fire Todd Bowles? Other than looking like he's constipated, he needs a stool softener like all the time. Would you really fire him? I don't know. I think like the Bucs, they dealt with a lot. I wouldn't be so quick to fire Todd Bowles. Detroit has to win this one. Eberflus to the Jets. That would be a disaster. Kira says, I saw something about Vrabel possibly bringing Josh McDaniels to his staff. Oh, my God. That's terrible. Steve Spagnuolo. Yes, Denzel. He's starting to pop up, too. He's been a head coach before, too, right? Bucs like us got hit with a lot of injuries later in the season. Jair Alexander won out of Green Bay. Yeesh. Wow. Well, he wouldn't fit on our team. Todd Bowles looks terrible. Yeah, he looks like he is always constipated. That's crazy. That is insane. But we gotta, this one gonna be special to me, man. Can you believe something happened over the weekend? And it's gonna be something that you guys don't expect. We know that we had wild card games. We know that Saturday was day one of wild card weekend. I didn't even know they dropped the super wild card. But in the midst of that, something happened. It was a day that our organization changed forever. Saturday, January 11th. Without cheating, can anyone tell me what Saturday, January 11th was? But it was a day that changed our franchise forever. It was also a day that we were mocked for, ridiculed for. A lot of people said was dumb. What is that? Here's what it was. Somebody said your birthday. Oh, man. Fave says when Dan Campbell was hired. That is the correct answer. Coming from the Detroit Lions Twitter. The Detroit Lions have completed, I'm sorry, this is not the day he was hired. This is the day that they completed their interview. He was hired a little later. This was the day that they interviewed Dan Campbell. Now, I will be the first one to say I was just like, wow, it was an outside of the box kind of hiring, right? You started, okay, Dan Campbell, he played here. He was here during 0-8. He was here for 3 seasons. His last one, he didn't really see a lot of work. He was hurt. Spent some time with Sean Payton. Goes on to be an interim coach for the Miami Dolphins. Outside the box. I myself was looking at Mike Vrabel. That is the year that he was hired in Tennessee. I was also looking at Robert Saleh. As far as I know, I don't remember if Robert Saleh or Vrabel interviewed for Detroit. I remember kind of some rumors that Saleh turned down the interview here because he wanted to go to New York, and he's a Dearborn native. But isn't it funny? There's an expression, everything happens for a reason. Well, I'm going to put a little twist on that. I like to use everything happens the way it's supposed to. Robert Saleh doesn't take the job. Mike Vrabel doesn't get an interview. And the Detroit Lions interview a guy by the name of Dan Campbell. And year one, we eventually wind up hiring him a few days later, I believe it was. And it was just an outside-the-box hiring. A guy that had coaching experience but had never been a head coach outside of the interim. And it was just like, okay, all right. Then you see the speech of him getting hired, and it was still the pandemic, so it was a lot of virtual stuff then. I knew what he meant. You knew what he meant. But the media, the national narrative about him was something that was unfair. It was unfair. It was unjust because guess what? Sean Payton would vouch for this guy. He did pretty well in Miami as well. And Dan Campbell, since becoming the head coach of the Detroit Lions, has gone in his career, has gone 46, 36, and 1. I hate the fact that 1 is on his record. Has taken the Detroit Lions to their first playoff win in 30 plus years, their first playoff game and win at Ford Field, their first NFC North title, their first back-to-back NFC North title, and is on route, is 1 game away from their second consecutive NFC Championship game. When Dan Campbell was hired and he did the speech, I remember watching it, and I'm saying, this guy gets it. And I don't know if you felt the same way, but as I'm watching, being a Detroit native myself, I still live outside of the city. My mom still lives in Detroit. I knew what he meant when he did the infamous, what Dan Campbell is known for. Nobody remembers anything else that he said in the press conference, except this team is going to take on the identity of this city. When he started with that, and he goes with the kneecap speech, and he concludes by saying, and when it's all over, we're going to be the last one standing. That's what people remember. But guess what? It embodies what the Detroit Lions, the city of Detroit, is. And you know what else? Everybody else trying to be Dan Campbell now. Dan Campbell made it cool to be yourself. You don't have to pretend to be anybody else. You don't have to be. See, Matt Patricia was trying to be Bill Belichick, and can't nobody be Bill Belichick. But what Dan Campbell has done in his short 4 years as Detroit Lions head coach, he's made it cool to be yourself. He's made it cool to say things like, so now you got Antonio Pierce. And I think Vrabel kind of along those same lines, that player coach. But nobody does it like Dan Campbell. Nobody shows the emotion that Dan Campbell does. I cannot name another coach that I've seen shed tears over his team that's currently coaching a National Football League team. Dan Campbell was absolutely the right hire. Great job by Sheila Ford, Chris Spielman, Brad Holmes. Throw him in there as well. It's not about him this time. But 4 years ago, January 11, 2021, the Detroit Lions interviewed Dan Campbell, and just a little while later, he became our head coach. Now, I remember when she also did, before Dan Campbell was introduced, she did hers virtually. And even when we started 1-6, Sheila was behind, believed in this guy. Introducing Jared Goff, the belief. Look what he's done with JG. Look what he's done, man. And now everybody is going to want to play for Dan Campbell. So, man, what a turn for the city, for the team, for the franchise, and for the fan base. 4 years ago, Dan Campbell was interviewed for the Detroit Lions head coaching job. And here we are 4 years later. And since going 1-6, Dan Campbell has only lost, we went 8-2. We've only lost 9 games. The Lions have only lost 9 games. We were losing consecutive games before he got here. I'm talking about 11, 12. We had a streak that went from one season to another. We had a streak that went from the 2019 season over into the 2020 season before we won our first game. We had lost, it was either 12 or 13 in a row. Matt Prater beats the Arizona Cardinals, I believe it was, to get our first win in 12 games. So, wasn't a bad hire after all. Let me see, what we talking about? Fatty Matty was trying. Y'all so wrong. Hey, he's not Fatty Matty anymore. He's lost a tremendous amount of weight. It's crazy, man, because dare I say that Matt Patricia looks like a different person, you know? I think Matt Patricia was humbled, man. I think he was humbled, for real. I know that's tough to say coming from him, you know, being him, but I think he was, you would have never had the access. Remember when he was riding around on the ATV? Y'all are terrible. Y'all are terrible, bro. 34-10 in the past couple of years. Oh, yeah, if you include the NFC loss, the championship loss. Remember just a few years ago, the Texas coach or his alma mater, they was trying to trade for. Remember, they were trying to get him to be hired as their next head coach. That's crazy, bro. I like Dan. I like that Dan takes responsibility. He never really blames the team. He blames himself. That's what real leaders do. What's up? Frank says, thank you, Derek. We can, and we will beat whoever they put in front of us. I looked at next year's schedule, and I predict a repeat of 2 losses, maybe less. By the way, I predicted we will lose 2 this season. Yeah, I had us at like 15-2, I think, and then the floor. I think the floor was like, I said 15-2, 13-4 was the floor. So, yeah, I'm with y'all, man. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, now this one I think y'all gonna like. I have been talking about this for a while, and we'll see if my narrative arc continues. A lot of people like, oh, I'm glad we don't have to face Stafford, and then no more Stafford talk. It ain't over yet, because I am predicting that the Philadelphia Eagles, that the LA Rams will win the last game. By the time you're seeing this, that game might be over. So hopefully this video is still relevant. Well, if you're seeing it, that means it probably is. But the Rams are started off 0-2, and I know y'all I don't want to talk about it anymore. We got to talk about it because that's the NFL. That's what the NFL wants. They want us to talk about it because what does that do? That equals ratings. What does that do? That equals money. The Detroit Lions have played in the top-rated games all season long. They own all the highest viewed games belong to the Detroit Lions. So could you imagine LA Rams, Detroit Lions, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford coming to Ford Field in a game where the winner goes to the Super Bowl? You literally cannot write a better script. But we got time to talk about that. This video here is about the Rams using Dan Campbell's words from Week 18 as motivation in their battle against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, do I feel bad for the Minnesota Vikings? I don't, because their fan base is... When I went to Minnesota, I had a great time. They treated me great. But then we hear that we're pushing people's wives and we're booing kids and all of this other nonsense that I just can't buy into, right? So I'm like, so the Minnesota Vikings caught a stray. They caught a stray. The Rams are using Dan Campbell's words to Kevin O'Connell as they were heading off the field, shaking hands. We'll see you in 2 weeks. What else was he supposed to say? We kicked your butt. I don't know. Usually people say good luck, whatever the situation. He said, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And to me, that was a sign of respect. You know what? This was a battle. We are division rivals. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Like, I think Dan Campbell was trying to not be a turd. He was not trying to be a turd, even though he could have been, right? So the Rams apparently have put up in their locker room, or I guess they're taking something with them because they're displaced currently, or maybe it was in LA before the wildfires took place and ravaged everything. But they're using the Dan Campbell quote of "We'll see you in 2 weeks" to Kevin O'Connell as motivation against the Vikings. I'm like, dang, they caught a stray. The Vikings caught a stray. Now I could see if the Rams held on to that, and if, they win this game and blah, 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 if the Commanders wouldn't have won in wild card round, then we would be facing the winner of this game. And I'm going to be real with you. I'm glad that we're not, because A, it helps my narrative arc continue, and B, I'm over it. I'm over that whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And I personally wouldn't mind seeing the Eagles, somebody new, but I think the NFL wants to see the Rams. So I find it funny that the Rams are using a quote from our coach to take it out on the Minnesota Vikings. They straight up caught a stray. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because the Minnesota Viking, I guess, play-by-play guy, I think his name is Paul Allen, something like that, which is ironic that he has the same last name as Brad Allen, who you will never see. You will not see. He will not referee a Lions game this season. I promise you that. He didn't do it all season long. They will not have him on the Lions game. It's too hot for the NFL, so you won't see it. But he said something after the game, because he was in Detroit, calling the Minnesota side for their fans on the radio. And he said, as the Lions were popping fireworks, he said, "Oh no, we got to be careful that we don't catch a stray from these fireworks." And I said to myself, catch a stray? Like, yeah, when you usually talk about catching a stray, it's a very specific connotation, right? And you talking about catching a stray in the city of Detroit. I don't know, man. I felt some type of way. But what do y'all think, man, of the LA Rams using a quote from our coach as motivation against the Minnesota Vikings? I say, I'm petty like that. So I say, do whatever you got to do. Let me tell you a little story real quick. Sometimes I don't feel like making content. I'm a one-man show. I run about 4 YouTube channels. I can't even keep up with them. I'm literally one dude. But I might see another Lions creator do something. I might see them make a video. I might see them do something. And I stop what I'm doing and I make a video. I'm dead serious. When I don't feel like it, when I want to take a break, I can't, because I use everything for motivation as well. We'll see if it helps the LA Rams and if they can get past and maybe set up that rematch. They got to get through Minnesota and Philly before that happens. But I think that's what the NFL wants to see. Maybe the LA Rams will use that same quote if they make it to the NFC title game and face the Detroit Lions. We'll see. But let me know, man, of what you think of the Minnesota Vikings catching a Dan Campbell stray. Dan Skipper has reported eligible. Agree, I could see Stafford acting like that. The Rams beating Eagles. That's all it was, Greg. That's all it was, man. It was a way to say good game, something creative, something new. I'm not mad at him. I'm not tripping on that. Detroit soft Motor City Kitties overrated. Okay, let me see. Wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I'm going to have some fun. All right? I want to school you guys on some use. Josh, don't do that, bro. Don't do it. Let him talk. Appreciate you, though. Don't let him talk. I want to tell you about lame people. And I'm a little irritated because he messed up my segment. He messed up my segment. We might go 2 hours today because we got a lot to catch up on. He messed up my segment, and I got to take a moment out of my day to talk about this. Okay? Let's have a conversation very briefly about troll accounts and how terrible they are and how soft they are. This is not going to be a segment necessarily. I'm not going to make a video, but I want to introduce to everybody a loser troll. Okay? Now, I'm a man, 45 years old, and I look at myself as a Generation X. I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man's man. I'm a man. I believe in taking care of my wife. I believe in taking care of my kids. I believe in a man sacrificing himself to make sure his lady gets home, right? I don't believe in a man, and this ain't about equality in the ladies. I love the ladies. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about all of that. But I believe in a man's job is to be the protector, the provider, all that stuff, okay? That's what we're made to do. I'm not saying, we can't split the bills. That ain't what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is I don't believe in softness, okay? And this guy has the word soft in his name. But I want to show you a very particular thing, okay? Now, I've never, ever, ever had a troll account. I've wanted to because it makes it easier on me to be a troll and not catch the blowback of calling somebody out because, some people like drama, some people don't. Well, this is a guy that's in the comment section. Detroit soft Motor City Kitties overrated. Kind of, okay, I can see. You know what? That could be a song title. Got the little goofy Brandon Perna looking thing. But here's the thing. Whoever this is not man enough. Charleston White. His tag is Charleston White, which means that he created both the name of the channel and the tag to be Charleston White. So it's like a double troll. But here's what I want you guys to see. He created this channel today. He created the channel January 13th, 2025. He literally was probably sitting right before he came into this chat and created this channel. This guy is soft. Detroit soft. But the thing about it is, what fan base is he? Now, for the sake of this segment, we're going to speculate, okay? You called our team soft, yet you're soft because you obviously represent a team, and you're so much of a punk. You're so much, as a matter of fact, I'm guessing that you use Charmin, okay? But you don't use Charmin for what you're supposed to use it for, right? You probably use Charmin to snuggle up with. I'm guessing that this guy uses Charmin as a pillow, probably. As a matter of fact, he probably walks around with a Charmin roll so he can squeeze it and feel better about himself. Because what kind of a guy creates a troll account to troll and where you at, bro? Where's where your team at? So we're going to give Detroit soft Motor City Kitty overrated. We're going to give him the opportunity to be a man and redeem himself and not be a soft little punk and come in with a troll account, okay? Because there's a lot of people I can talk about on this platform. There's one in particular, okay? I ain't saying no names. But there's a guy in particular that, Kanye West had a lyric. In his first album, okay? No, it wasn't his first album. It was second. It was Dropout was the first album. It was Late Registration. I think it was. No. I'm off. It was Graduation because Graduation had Good Life on it. And there's a lyric that I live by, okay? And it goes a little something like this. Me. Kanye West says, the only thing I wish a brother would. Okay? I wish a brother would say something about me on YouTube, then that's all it takes, right? So I know that this guy's not going to say anything, but I wish a brother would. Okay? So as far as Motor City overrated, there's your chance, bro. You have one opportunity to say something or forever hold your peace. This is your opportunity. Go back to your main account, come back in here, claim responsibility, or every time you show up, you will disappear. Okay? So there you go. There you go. Okay, there you go. Oh, he hit me with your mama lame. Oh, damn. Wow. What are we, 7? Your mama lame. Wow. Wow, bro. Is anybody, wow. Do y'all still, is that still a thing? Wow, bruh. Well, wow. Let's give a moment of silence for Motor City. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Wow. Wow, that's what we doing? That's what we doing? That's crazy to me. My mama lane, bro, what is that? I mean, that's where we at? Wow. Okay. All righty. Well, thank you for indulging in my in that right there. Because I had some fun. I had some fun with that right there. Okay. So the Detroit Lions, the rosters have been locked for the teams that did not make the playoffs, and that was last week. I believe it was the 8th of the month, 4 o'clock, that the rosters were set. So that was back last Wednesday. They are set, meaning, I guess, that teams that didn't make the playoffs, their rosters were set. They were locked in if you were on the roster, the 53-man roster. So that's what happened to Calais Campbell. I think the Miami Dolphins did him wrong. Best case scenario, they make the 7th seed. They wind up being in a situation where they have to go play the Buffalo Bills, and we all know how that would have ended. I mean, we saw Tyreek Hill and his response after that season ended. But we have a situation now that, if I'm not mistaken, there could be some guys that become available. Now, I like the Detroit Lions squad. I do. Am I going to shun any extra pieces we could get? Absolutely not. We have an opportunity to do something we've never done before, and that's make and win our first Super Bowl. And we're going to need a lot of help. Right now, we don't know what's going on with Terrion Arnold. In his rake straw, his 21-day window open. We don't know if he's going to play, when he's going to play, and how effective he's going to be. But the practice squad contracts for teams expired today for non-playoff teams. Now, I tried to find a practice squad list of players that were on teams' practice squad. So non-playoff teams have expired contracts. Now, what I don't know is, can they be signed by other teams? I would assume they can, because they are now free agents. And remember, we brought up in a segment last week that a free agent can be signed during the playoffs. Up to 4 free agents, but no more than 2 per week. So I'm wondering, is there anybody that you saw on a practice squad? I can't really name anybody, but is there anybody on a practice squad that you could see come to the Detroit Lions? I really don't know, but we know that being where the Detroit Lions were in the waiver wire, and now the waiver wire is not a thing anymore, that it was going to be difficult for them to land anybody. As a matter of fact, according to the standings with NFL.com, the Lions are the bottom. Right now, if the season ended today, they would be picking 32. So we would never get our hands on anybody. So is there anybody on a practice squad that you could see that could become a Detroit Lion? I know there were some notable names. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he opened up today. He became a free agent. I forgot what team he went to. I forgot, but this team wasn't going anywhere, the decision was kind of weird to me. But he's not a guy with Monty coming back now and not being out for the season. I could see him coming, maybe a team taking a flyer on him and picking him up for a Super Bowl run. But let me know if there's any practice squad guys that you've been watching throughout the season that you could see. Braylon says he went to the Saints. That is correct. Let me know if we could do that, if there's any guy you want to see. I can't really name anybody off the top of my head, but I'm sure there might be somebody out there that the Detroit Lions could sign. Let me know what you think. Oh, Run. So Run says, is Matthew Betts off the table? Yes, he's off the table. He signed an extension with the BC Lions. He signed for the next couple of years. So he's off the table. Yep. This dude whack. He done made another account. What's up, D? Oh, Chiefs 3P? Okay. Hey, well, good for you, bro. You know what? Wait a minute. Wait. He came back in here. Hold on. Did he create this? If he created this account today, hold on. Let me go back, unhide him. And, let's see. When did he create this account? Oh, he created it? Okay. All right. He ain't making no, he just like a multi-troll. We just talked about your fan base earlier today. What's up? Yellow says, you going live on Syndicate for Rams. Yes, fellow, we will be live tonight. It's not, I didn't do the thumbnail yet, so I got to do all that after we get. I didn't know we needed offensive players, but I really would be cool to see EQ play with Amon-Ra. Hey, Jay, that will never happen, bro. That will not happen because the Lions have had multiple opportunities to get Equanimous, and that's the thing where they don't, and I don't know, bro. I think it's better that he stays away because the podcast will be boring. I think it'll be boring. What's up, Chiefs? Hey, I gotta give you some respect for claiming your team. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta be like that, but I can do this all day, but I won't do it all day. I'll just hide you. All right. I'm all about smack talking, but trolling, that's a whole different thing. You'll see Daniels saying he's going to end the Lions season on Saturday. Okay, Jason, if you have that information, can you please direct me to it? Because I did see a video today, but you guys know that I have to verify information before I talk about it, just because that's what we do. So if you have that information, please tell me where I can find it. Has EQ played this year? I want to say yes. All right, so we're going to do something a little different today. We got a couple more segments, and we've been on for a while. That's in part to Dan Campbell's super long press conference. So this might be our longest show of the year thus far. Well, the year just started. But we are going to, anything between an hour to 2 hours. And the goal is to have at least this show every day for at least an hour. And eventually in 5 years, we're going to, once I can bring people on, we're going to have a decent, give you a decent option to Woodward Sports. You're going to be like, you know what? I'm glad this guy is around. Okay, so let's do this. And I think this segment going to be real good. But I want to kind of deviate a little bit to we'll do kind of like a double segment here about, yeah. All right, so the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is an NFL segment. It's probably going to go on the NFL channel, but I want to get the chat's opinion. This is the Detroit Lions. You can see everything, right? Detroit Lions fan base. But I want to give you guys his opinion because we went through a similar situation, not quite as similar to the levels of Mike Tomlin, but Mike Tomlin, 6 losses in the playoffs, has not won a playoff game in 8 years, is kind of hanging his hat on the never had a losing season. But eventually that wears thin. Now, the Rooneys are not going to move on from him. They've already said that they're not going to move on from him. And I want to ask my Detroit Lions fan base in this chat, and if you come across this video, which you probably won't, is it time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to move on from Mike Tomlin? One of the things that I respect about the Pittsburgh Steelers is they are responsible for the Rooney Rule. And the Rooney Rule is a valiant attempt at trying to get minorities like myself and others to at least get interviewed. Is it a hoax? Does it matter? No, because it's just a rule. It's meaning you have to interview a minority coach. It doesn't mean you have to hire them. And you could already have somebody in mind that you're going to hire, but you have to interview a minority coach. So I understand what he was trying to do, and I appreciate that. But it reminds me of when we had Jim Caldwell, and I was a big fan of Jim Caldwell. I think I think that Jim Caldwell might have been able to get it done. I know a lot of people did not like Jim Caldwell. They don't think he could have got us over the hump, and we'll never know. But Jim Caldwell was a winner. I don't believe he had a losing season. I could be wrong. It's been a while. Jim Caldwell was 2014 to 2017, but Mike Tomlin got like way more on his resume than Jim Caldwell had with the Detroit Lions. But is Mike Tomlin getting stale? Okay, Gurdit says Tomlin needs to go. Run DG says he might need a fresh start somewhere else. Marvin says, yeah. Maybe he can pull an Andy Reid. And I was going to bring him up as an example. Andy Reid is probably the best example of a coach that kind of plateaued with one team and went to another and became a dynasty, right? Mike Tomlin would be hired in a second by another team. I think if Mike Tomlin was fired today, which he's not going to be, he actually has a no trade clause. You know you a real one. If you a coach and you have a no trade clause in your coach contract, that means you a dog. You are definitely a dog head coach. But is it time? One of the things, the reason I brought the Rooneys up is because the Rooneys are an old school organization. The Pittsburgh Steelers are old school. They old school. They are one of the organizations that are stuck in their ways. When they brought in Mitchell Trubisky a couple years ago, I told Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate at the time that he was a bum. And what were they doing? They had a shot to get Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if that would have been any better, but he decided that was the year he decided to stay in Green Bay one more year. Got paid like $50 million to stay there. But the Rooneys are old school. They're old school. Batman says, I think Tomlin's done. Team looked like they didn't even want to be there at some point. Never having a losing season is as mediocre as it sounds, because that just means you won one more game than you lost. That is a bar, bro. As a matter of fact, that's such a bar. And yes, that's going to be in the segment. Gotta love this soundboard, man. That's such a bar that you get this. That is a bar. That is 100%. I think it is time for a change for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because I think we're going to see the San Francisco 49ers hit the same thing. The same thing. And how quickly it's going to go from we believe in Shanahan and Lynch to the 49ers have parted ways with Shanahan and Lynch, both at the same time. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are in shambles. They in trouble. They have no quarterback. Justin Fields, they did not pick up his fifth-year option. He's a free agent. Black and gold, here we go. He's a free agent. They have no quarterback on the roster, as far as I know. Najee Harris is not going to return to Steeler. They got some work to do. TJ Watt, he's under contract for one more year. Could they leverage him? Could they trade? The Pittsburgh Steelers are a great old school organization. But that's one thing about the Detroit Lions that I respect, is that they were able, Sheila got out the way and she let this team be modern. See, William Clay, he held this team back. Martha Firestone, she was old. She old, bruh. But Sheila did the unexpected, which was bring some modern flavor. We brought in Chris Spielman, right? We brought in Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, outside the box hires. It might be time for the Mike Tomlin to move on. And they already said he's not. You know what the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base is saying now? That they already know they're going to run it back. They're going to do just enough not to have a losing season. And they're going to be talking the same way next year. But what's different next year? It's TJ Watt. TJ Watt, unless he gets extended this offseason, he will not be a Pittsburgh Steeler. He won't. I could see, I'm going to predict that TJ Watt will have a very similar career to his brother. His brother started off a Houston Texan. They didn't do anything, went to the Arizona Cardinals, did more. That's what's going to happen for TJ Watt. I don't think he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler this time next year. And he's going to find a new team, hopefully the Lions, a new team that he's going to go be able to make some progression with. So let me know, should Mike Tomlin, should the Pittsburgh Steelers move on, even though they've already said they won't, should they move on from Mike Tomlin? As a Detroit Lions fan, that Jim Caldwell, as much as it pained me to move on from him, it was the right decision because it wound up leading to Dan Campbell. And Dan Campbell was that culture shock that we needed. So that's just my take. Let me know yours in the comments. Antoine, what up, though? Hey, listen, y'all was dropping some nuggets on that segment, man. I appreciate that. Hold on. I'm crossing these out. All right, so we got a couple more things to talk about. Like I said, this probably gonna be an hour, 45-minute show. Appreciate all y'all, man. Very prophetic what Bradshaw said about Tomlin. He's not a good coach. He's a good cheerleader. Ooh. I wonder what Tomlin's retort to that is going to be, because we know he don't play no games. Cam Hayward may retire. Yep. Could I see Ben Johnson going to the Pittsburgh Steelers? I think I could if it was available, and if the Steelers were able. Just think about it. When was the last time the Steelers offense was scary? It hasn't been scary in a long time. And Ben Johnson, he won a superpower. He gonna need a superpower offense. I forgot to even mention Pickens. I've seen some fan bases saying we need to do a Lion-esque rebuild. Bro, I know. I can't even believe, Mr. Unlimited. I can't even believe that our team is Cam was getting destroyed. I can't even believe that our team is is the new standard. And I forgot to mention that. The standard is the standard, but the standard is you can't beat the good teams, right? Yeah, I know. Bradshaw, he said that years ago. Okay. All right. So we got one more segment? No, we got two. No, we got, okay, hold on. So as much as it pains me to say this, I might have to admit defeat. I might have to do it. You see it from the thumbnail that I'm not sure, as much as I want to believe, that this man is going to come back. I don't know if it's going to be. I might have to concede defeat on the return of Aiden Hutchinson. Hutchinson is back on the Lions sideline, which is something I hadn't seen since he got hurt. He was always in a suite. He was back on the Lions sideline. The Super Bowl is in 27 days. Can y'all believe that? 27 days, 27 days is Super Bowl 59. Hutch, in order to come back, his 21-day window could start at any time after the divisional round, and he could come back for the Super Bowl. There's no, you don't have to open it 21 days in advance, but you have 21 days to make a decision after you open it. I don't know if he's going to make it. Not to say that he didn't give everything he had. I believe he gave everything he had. It might be too much for even the great Aiden to overcome, even if he can't play. And the Lions have no intention of playing him. I think that it's only right. And let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section in the chat. Lions have 53 men. I think it's 53 on the active roster. You dress 48. So you have anywhere from 5 to 7 inactive every week. I think it's 55 or something like that. So that's a spot that we could use. And as of right now, I don't think going into the divisional round that the Lions have an open roster spot, but they may. So here's the question. Hutch, it's apparent that he can't come back. He's not going to be able to play and be a non-factor in any way. Would you be willing to sacrifice a roster spot to have Hutch dress, come out the tunnel in the NFC Championship game? Would you be willing to do that? I am going to say I absolutely would. The chat, Michael says, yep. Braylon says, yep. Looks like the consensus in the chat is that they would be willing to do it. I'm going to tell you what. When Hutch I went to the Rams game, the beginning of the season, and the very first game was the defense was introduced. And this is no shot at Jack Campbell, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Alex Anzalone, none of them guys. When Aiden Hutchinson came out, he comes out last, and the crowd, the roof blew off that thing. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. And I think that the defensive performance by the Detroit Lions was inspired by Hutch, their brother, being back on the sideline. See, he wasn't in the booth with Eminem. He on the sideline. His leg is not up anymore. He's dressed in Lions gear, inactive, of course, on the sideline. He's still on IR, so he doesn't affect the roster. But if he was to come off IR, he would, and we would lose a spot. But seeing how that defense played against the Minnesota Vikings, seeing how the fan base the reaction would be insane. I would give a roster spot for Hutch to come out, gingerly out the tunnel if you're not ready, hype the crowd up. There's no way a team beats us. There's no way a team beats us if Hutch came out that tunnel in the NFC Championship game. I don't care who you are. Eagles, forget about it. Rams, forget about it. So he's got 27 days to come back. His 21-day window, if Hutch is going to come back, we would hear about it next week. I'm starting to think it's not going to happen, but if I'm Dan Campbell, I at least let the man dress. Let him sit on the sideline. Let him feel like he's in the game. And David, who's in the chat, was at the game. We're sitting next to each other. I don't know if you saw this, D, but when Zadarius Smith was trying to get his incentive, Hutch was on the sideline hyping his crew up. And when they showed Hutch on the big screen, it seems like, I believe, honestly, that the Lions defense, come on, man, I'm making a video here. I'm walking here. God. I'm walking here. Sorry about that. When it seemed like that the defense played inspired. Like that was probably our best defensive performance. And I say that because of the opponent we were up against, the fact that they did not score a touchdown, the fact that we stuffed them in the red zone over and over and over. Now, we might have held a team to 6 points. We might have held a team. We went down a stretch where we didn't allow a touchdown. But I think that the Minnesota game, knowing that you got Addison, Jefferson, Hutchinson, Akers, Jones, and they didn't score at all. They didn't give a touchdown. I think that was inspired by Aiden Hutchinson. So I don't know if 27 days is enough time, but I'm willing to concede defeat. But at the very least, take him off IR, let him dress. And at that point, is one roster spot really going to make a difference? I think, I'm going to be real. As a matter of fact, here's the, you know what I'm about to say. You know what I'm about to say, dog. If Roderick Martin can use a roster spot, you can let Aiden Hutchinson burn one too. Stop playing, bro. Stop it. If Roderick Martin can use up a roster spot, then so can Aiden. Put him in there, bro. Somebody asked, what is your problem? What did Broderick do to you? Nothing. He's done nothing to me or for me. But I guarantee you, if Aiden Hutchinson comes out of that tunnel, he can walk out the tunnel. And that ain't nobody beating this team. Nobody is beating the Lions if Hutch comes out the tunnel. He could come out on a cart. I'm telling you, bro, you have to be there. Nobody would beat this team. So, Brod, listen, I don't know what kind of fan base you know, what kind of person you think I am, but I'm a fan. I keep it a buck, bro. I keep it a buck. Broderick Martin, come on now. He ain't done nothing to me, but he ain't done nothing, period. And we traded up to get this guy. Don't get me started on him. I've been holding back all season long. Dude is already heading into year 3 and has done nothing. So if you can have Broderick Martin on the team, you can have Hutch on the team. Sign him up, activate him, let him come out that tunnel, man. He don't have to take a single snap. Be over there in the Honolulu Blue, hyping up the crowd with the paint on, bro. We ain't nobody beating us. I'm telling you. Hey, Broderick is Darko Miller. Oh, the ultimate human cigar. That's crazy. All right. Man, oh man. If you're wondering why I do all these segments, man, this is how we get content. And I just got to say, man, you might see, I got a lot of people. Shout out to you guys, man, because you guys be on it. I have people DMing me on Twitter on Instagram, on Facebook, and they're like, yo, man, is Syndicate Sports XL? Is that you? I'm like, yeah, bro, that's, first of all, you see my face, so it's me. If you see my face, well, somebody could be stealing my content. They could be, so I understand that. But I appreciate y'all because y'all be on it. Y'all was like, yo, man, I'm seeing this channel around. Is that you? I'm like, yo, yeah, that's me. That's me. It's part of what it is as we get more content, I don't want to oversaturate this channel, so we are going to put content over there. So right now, it's only me and Nick, but it will not be me and Nick forever, I promise you that. I got a couple people that's trying to decide whether they want to join the team. But yeah. So Rail says, I knew that was coming. Bro, I'm sorry, man. I couldn't help myself. I could not help myself. All right, we gonna save this last segment for last, but before, we're going to go back to the NFL. So the wild card games were trash. Shout out to Bubba Dub. Trash. For the past couple of years, there have been 7 teams in the NFL playoffs. Now, I like that as a Detroit Lions fan. It opens so much. This is before we were good. And remember, when we were making the playoffs, without that 7th seed, we don't even have a chance. So it gives more drama. So the NFL, I think they did the right thing by adding that 7th playoff team. I like the 17 games. I think they'll go up to 18. And you got to remember, the NFL is about money. That's the number one priority. They're about money. So the 18th game is probably coming. Now, we saw something, and statistically, this is usually a bad thing. It's what we saw over the weekend, and this is leading up to the Monday night game, the last wild card game. And I want to know your thoughts on this. I know what you guys are going to say, but just hear me out. Let me know what you think, or what would you propose to do differently? After 5 games, the home team won 4 of those 5 games. In the games, out of those 5 games, they were all blowouts except one. Okay? One of the things about the NFL that's been kind of talked about, and after the recent situation of the Lions, Minnesota Vikings, and for the first time in NFL history, a 14-win team has to start on the road. Now, the NFL has not budged from this for years. They have not moved, but the product on the field is, in my opinion, starting to suffer. It's starting to suffer. In those 5 games, there was only 1 close game. There was only 1 upset, and that's going into the Rams game. The Rams game, the Vikings are the favorite team. The Rams actually will be upsetting the Vikings. But if you go by statistics and history, the Rams, if it was at SoFi Stadium, they should win based off of the seeding. So the question that I have for you is it time for the NFL to change seeding? Now, it's starting to gain steam that the team with the better record gets a home playoff game over a division winner. So you can still be a division winner, but that doesn't mean that you'll get home field advantage or a home game. I like the idea. It's long overdue. I also think that the NFL should do something about the seeding as well. Here's what I mean. The NBA, to me, has the best seeding of the sports. I don't really know about baseball and hockey, but I like the way the NBA does it. In the NFL, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. Statistically, the best game of the weekend is usually 4-5. It's very rarely you get what happened in 2023, where you got a 7-seed Packer go in and beat a 2-seed Cowboys. The NFL is about product. And the product that is going on the field is decreasing more and more and more. This is the NFL's time to make money. And they're throwing a trash product out there. It's trash. And you know what we kept hearing? Boring. These are the last 13 games of the NFL season. Boring. The most boring Super Bowl I've ever watched, ironically, had our current quarterback, LA Rams, Patriots, 13-3. We sitting there falling asleep. The NFL, it might be time to make some changes. Now, what I would like to see is somebody brought it up yesterday. It's the NFL cannot go to 8 teams and 2 bye weeks because in the divisional round, it would be 5 teams remaining, and that would throw everything off. So it'll probably stay 7 teams. It'll probably be the first seed gets the bye. I would like the second seed to get a bye again. That would be interesting. But what I would like to see is the first seed gets the bye. I think that seed 2 should play 5. 3 should play 6. No, I'm sorry. Seed 2, if there's 7 teams, 2 should play 5. 3 should play 6. 4 should play 7. I think that would be a better matchup, because if you look at 7 limps into the playoffs. They're the last seed. They shouldn't beat the second seed. And in all cases, the second seed should destroy the 7th seed. So I think that the NFL eventually is going to have to do something. I suspect that the owners are going to talk about it, both the non-division winner getting a playoff game. You still get the trophy, you still get the banner, you still get all that stuff, but you got to start on the road. So let's do this. Let's pull up NFL.com and let's see which team would have started on the road, even though they won the division. And let me know what y'all think of this. Okay, so let's go and we'll do both AFC and NFC. What teams would start on the road? So Lions win the North, blah, blah, blah. Eagles, okay. Bucks, okay. Rams. So those are the best teams. The Vikings would have got a home game, but they wouldn't have won a division. So how would you do this? So that means that the Vikings would now be the 3rd seed. And to be honest with you, that's better. There's no reason a 14-win team should be the 5th seed. The Commanders would have got a home game. This really is a thing that the NFL needs to look at, because these two teams shouldn't be playing on the road. They both got better records than both the Rams so the Rams and Buccaneers would have been 100% it should go like this. 100%. The Packers had a better record than both these teams. So the division, and this is why this is a conversation this year, because all of the wild card teams had a better record than the South Division winner and the West Division winner. This is why this is a conversation. So I think eventually what the NFL is going to do is they're going to do, it might be as early as this season. I think the owners are going to talk about it. I think they're going to put a trial in place, because remember, we had the 7th playoff team before we got a 17th game. So I think the NFL is going to have to consider this. I don't know if they will add another team. I don't see that happening, but they're going to have to consider this, because the product starts to suffer. And you got to remember too, this thing is about money. So imagine you still get the banner, you still get the trophy, you still get all that stuff. But I think your record, because you're battling to win a division, you're battling with 4 teams. 4 teams. You're the better of those 4 teams. Okay, that's cool. But when you have history made by a team that's 14-2 and they're playing, or 14-3 and they're playing outside, they're playing on the road, that's a problem. That's a problem. And imagine the money that would come from Minnesota or Green Bay or something like that. So for me, I think the NFL is going to eventually do something about this, even if it's a trial year and they see how it go, because the product is starting to suffer and their bottom line is money. And this would do much better than the current playoff. And we didn't even look at the AFC. Would the AFC have been any different? All right, let me see. So the Chargers would have got a home game. So the only difference in the AFC is the Chargers would have got a home game as opposed to the Texans. I can't be mad at that either. And the AFC has always been the stronger conference. So let me know what you think. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. We already talked about Gibbs basically about to run for 400 on the Commanders. So maybe I'm thinking this the wrong way. Wouldn't this make so the division titles mean nothing? I mean, not really. It depends on how you look at it. So it depends on how for me, I don't think they would mean nothing, because, okay, what do you think should be rewarded a home game? Winning your division or having a better record? Because if you won your division, you still get a hat and t-shirt. You still get a banner. You know what I'm saying? You just don't get necessarily a home game. I don't think, like, for instance, this is why I could get behind the other way. Remember when the Washington Commanders were 7-9 and they won a division? Remember when the what was it? Carolina Panthers were 7-8-1 and they won their division. That to me is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? There's no way a losing record team being a division winner. It's cool if you that's a battle of four, the best of four, right? 4 teams. But to get a home game and it's a team that's 12-5 and coming to play you, that's whack to me. So I think that it should go by win-loss. You can still get a banner, you still get a hat, you still get the title, you still get all that NFC South division winners, but you got to go on the road. It ain't no reason that a team that is better than you should have to start on the road. That's just what I think. But I think the NFL is going to have to consider this eventually. All right, so I saved the best for last, and I was going to make this a Lions Syndicate video, but you know what? We having so much fun over here that I'm going to put it over here. Plus, what I was going to say earlier about Syndicate Sports Detroit XL is you're going to see content. It's funny, I started making content on that channel after a year, and people are seeing it, which tells me that YouTube is doing its job. Okay? So I saved this best segment for last, and the reason I make so many segments is because I'm off. I need content today, tomorrow, and now I'm putting it on 2 different channels. So anyway, and we got to, hopefully you guys like the new logo. We're going to have some merchandise eventually, embroidered stuff. We're going to have the iron-on stuff. You know, that's going to be a little cheaper, but I want to make sure it's done right. So it's not going to happen immediately. It will definitely be up by next season, but I want to make sure that I do this right. I don't rush it out. So hopefully you guys like the new Syndicate logo. All right, so I saved the best for last. Well. The Detroit Lions know their opponent. We didn't have to wait till the end of Monday Night Football to find out. And quite frankly, I'm glad we got these guys because I do not want to have to deal with I just wanted somebody new. It ain't that I didn't want to deal because I think we're going to see Stafford anyway in the NFC Championship game if the NFL gets its way. Too much money to be lost. But I wanted a fresh team. I wanted somebody fresh. Yes, the Lions have issues with mobile quarterbacks, running QBs. Jaden Daniels, he's going to have to be careful, man. I know he carries his weight well, but I feel I'm a little leery about the RPO quarterback, especially one like Jaden. And the dude he carries his 212 pounds very well. Let's put it like that. But I saw yesterday, dude got tackled, flew up in the air, out of bounds. I mean, the dude had to be 5-6 feet off the ground. Like the wind just carried him away. But anyway, the team was able to turn it around and go from the second pick in the NFL draft to now not a non-division winner, but a division playing in the divisional round of the playoff. That is quite the turnaround. But I find it funny that I saw something today, and this particular video is coming from the Crunch Time Sports. You know those guys. They got it from Dark Multiplex on TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I don't use TikTok, so I couldn't have saw this any other way. Shout out to those guys at Crunch Time Sports. I saw a video that I'm going to let you see for yourself. This is what the Washington Commanders were saying after the game yesterday, after they got their win. You don't say. Be careful what you ask for, Commander fans. You want Detroit. See, we've been to the bottom. Matter of fact, we've been with the best. We beat the best. We retired more teams than Social Security. You want Detroit is what you say. Calm down. Relax. Enjoy your win. And I don't say this as a haughty, arrogant, cocky fan. I say this as a team, as a fan of a team that has been where you are. Been where you are. Y'all not the first seed. Y'all was the 6th seed. Okay? Y'all be the 3rd seed. Good for you. And they're already talking smack in the comment section. about what Jaden Daniels is going to do to the Detroit Lions. We didn't just get to where we are. We didn't just magically be the first seed. We went through the mud. 3-13-1, 9-8, just missed the playoffs. 12-5, NFC Championship game, 17-point lead. It's called growth. It is called progression. Okay? Y'all made a giant jump from second pick in the draft to divisional round. Now, the San Francisco 49ers did something very similar after they picked Nick Bosa. Picked him second overall in 19, went to the Super Bowl the following year. Or I think it was that season, his rookie season. That ain't going to happen with y'all. And we going to send y'all home. And that's what it is. Let me tell you something. Ford Field is a place that you haven't experienced. Okay? Rookie quarterback, offensive rookie of the year. He going to win it. Good for him. But you ain't been to Ford Field. You ain't been in the D. Okay? There's a song that I play at the end of this live stream. It's from the Detroiters. You don't know about the D. You don't know about the streets. And you don't know about Ford Field. So enjoy your win. Have fun. Okay? Make sure that you get Jaden. This is just, as a fan sitting in the basement. I'm going to need Daniels to get on the workout routine. He's going to have to bulk up a little bit. I don't want to see a quarterback flying 5 or 6 feet in the air. Go watch it. The brother was 5 or 6 feet in the air. I've never seen, and they say he's 212. Wow, he carried it very well. But every time he runs, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Lamar Jackson looks bigger than him. I'm afraid. So you said you want Detroit. You got Detroit. And guess what? We wanted y'all too. Because we ain't seen y'all since Carson Wentz when we beat y'all a couple years ago. And we going to see you this year. And it ain't cocky or arrogant. We are the better football team. And we're going to win this game. We have the number 1 offense. You have the number 5 offense. You're coming to Ford Field. You're coming to Ford Field. And you're coming to Ford Field. So I hope the same people saying we want Detroit, I hope you come to Detroit. Get your boy a ticket while you at it. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about the We Want Detroit chants. Hey, X going to give it to you. We going to give it to you. That's what's going to happen. Hey, get the people what they want. They want Detroit. You got Detroit. And we'll be there Saturday, 8 o'clock EST, to see if y'all back up y'all smack talk. And ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the end of the show. Appreciate y'all. Pretty darn good, man. I'm a lot better than some of those hosts with AI-generated songs. Hey, listen, it ain't nothing wrong with the AI-generated songs. I looked into it. And I was like, you know what? Terminator is real. AI-generated songs, 3 guys talking football. Listen, let me just say something real quick because I'm extra petty. Man. I find it very funny that I started, a channel was built off of my name and my image and my fan base. That's how that channel was built. And all of a sudden, I'm not on that channel no more. Then you got another guy that took over for that channel, just happened to look like me, right? And all of a sudden, that doesn't work out. And now you got 3 guys talking football. And that channel is going to tank. As a matter of fact, I got the perfect sound effect for how that channel is going to do. Y'all ready? Like I said, y'all, extra petty. Man, I keep a lot of things close to the chest. And y'all don't know the full story of what happened. And it's only a matter of time. Because like I said in the previous segment, the only thing I wish a brother would. I wish a brother would say, because I'm waiting to say something. Okay? And all I got to say is I thought I saw that dude at Ford Field. Go watch my video, bro. Go watch my video. I thought I saw him at Ford Field. I did one of these. I was talking to the camera. I did one. Because I'm telling you, it was happening. Okay? So anyway. Hey, Bonzilla, I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But all I know is 3 guys talking whack. It's whack, bro. Whack. Like I said, extra petty. See, we going to wrap up the show. But I am one of the nicest guys. I got a slogan, okay? And it goes like this. I'm super nice until I'm not. I am the nicest guy, bro. But once I'm not, once I turn that switch, it's on after that, okay? Because I don't like being taken advantage of. I don't like being disrespected. None of that stuff. And once that happens, like I saw a clip of a Philadelphia Eagle fan talking to a Green Bay Packer fan wife. And I'm like, what we doing, bro? Why is your camera out? Because what I'm doing in that situation, okay, is I'm going to try and keep a cool head. But I'm not going to be recording. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record. I'm going to give my phone to somebody else. And me and him, we going to have a conversation and see if we can fix this situation. See, people ain't made like us no more. They not made like us. DJ Quick said it. And I bet you DJ Quick is a baby boomer. But he probably super close to an X because DJ Quick probably in his 50s, somewhere around there. And yeah, I'm like Quick. Quick is the name, okay? When he had a little beef with MC8, he said, those was his days back then when you work stuff out. You know what I'm saying? I miss the 90s. I miss when you used to say stuff about people and used to work it out, right? So that's all I'm saying. Ain't nobody talking to my wife, mother, or sister, or any woman I'm with like the way he talked to that woman. And that's my wife. Nope. We gonna have a very short conversation. I'm gonna ask you to stop. And then if you don't, I don't know what happens after that. That's all I'm saying. But I ain't letting you do that, okay? Now, you take that as you will. I'm not saying I'm going to be violent. I'm just saying I'm going to try to talk to the brother. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we out of time. I like to thank my hosts, the incredible people in the chat. You guys rock, man. I appreciate y'all rock with me. You could be rocked on, but then why would you do that? Because that would suck. Oh, I want the smoke, bro. I want the smoke. Please give me the smoke. Anyway, look, I will see y'all Wednesday. Enjoy your day. Come back on Lion Syndicate today. We watching Rams, Vikings. Vikings fans been talking a bunch of junk, man. A lot of junk. And I can't wait till they are quiet. But I'm going to say this one thing, man. I'm going to say this one thing. You know how you think you see something? Like you think you see something. If one thing that I'm learning is you got to follow your first impression, your first intuition. If you have a feeling about somebody or something, follow it. See, I'm too nice. I'm too giving. I'm too understanding. I'm always trying to work with somebody and help somebody. You know what I'm saying? You need some help? Sure, I'll help you, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them guys because I believe in helping, man. I'm just a helping person. I want everybody to shine, but I realize not everybody want that. Some people want to be snuggled up to Herman Moore. Some people want to create AI songs and steal from other people. I don't know. Some people just can't stand. They can't stand how I stand. They can't stand with me. They can't stand on my level. They need help. They need somebody to hug them and caress them and corral them, right? I don't need that. I've been through the mud, bruh. I done been through everything on this platform, and I'm gonna be the last one standing. That's facts. So anyway, I'm only gonna get more petty as I get older. I see it. You know how you lose patience? I'm a lose patience and petty. I'm turning extra petty, bro. Derek, you're like the streets probably wanting to smoke. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. I realize that a lot of people, and I don't mean violence, y'all. I don't mean that. I don't mean violence. I'm not a violent guy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just it's some weak people in the world, very weak. They hide behind the internet. They use people for their advantage, and it is what it is. But he's whack. His entire brand sucks, and the only thing I wish a brother would. Anyway, we out of time. I gotta go because I'm gonna get canceled. I will see y'all next time, man. Peace.
blowing, and I'm pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the Motor City, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the Motor City, everything ain't pretty, but it's love though. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.